New footage of El Mencho's funeral shocks everyone. They killed El Mencho, Mexico's most wanted man, dead, but his cartel had one final demand, a funeral. Armed gunmen, thousands of loyalists, all converging on one location. The army had two choices, let it happen or show up. They showed up, and what followed was hell. The body, the burial, and the cartel's goodbye. On February 22, 2026, the most wanted man in the entire Western Hemisphere was killed by the Mexican military. His name was Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, but the world knew him as El Mencho, the founder and iron-fisted leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, one of the most dominant and violent criminal syndicates in Mexico, a man with a $15 million bounty on his head, a man whose empire stretched across 6 of 7 continents, and now he was dead. But here's the thing nobody was prepared for. It wasn't just the killing that shook Mexico to its very foundations. It was what happened after. It was the body, the question of what to do with it, the whispered plans for a funeral, and the terrifying, very real possibility that the most powerful drug cartel in the Western Hemisphere was going to organize a burial ceremony for their fallen leader, and that the Mexican army was going to show up at that funeral. What followed was a chain of events so chaotic, so deeply disturbing, and so consequential that by the time the dust had settled, over 73 people were dead, 250 roadblocks had turned entire highways into war zones, and a nation of over 130 million people was forced to lock its doors and pray. So let's start from the moment the bullet entered his body. Let's start from the very beginning. And let's not leave a single detail out, because this story, every single agonizing piece of it, deserves to be told in full. The small town of Tapalpa is a quiet mountainous settlement, roughly 2 hours southwest of Guadalajara, nestled in the kind of rugged terrain that makes it a perfect hideout for a man who has been running from governments for years. And that is precisely why El Mencho was there. According to Mexico's Defense Secretary, General Ricardo Trevilla, the military had been tracking one of El Mencho's romantic partners for days. On February 20th, a trusted associate was monitored transporting that romantic partner to a rural property in Tapalpa. By February 21st, surveillance had confirmed not only El Mencho's presence at that location, but also the presence of a fully armed security detail surrounding the property. The net was closing, and El Mencho had no idea.
This was a very, very effective takedown of one of the biggest leaders, and it was done, based on the intelligence that they conducted primarily.
The Mexican Army, the National Guard, the Mexican Air Force, and the Attorney General's office all coordinated a joint assault that began before the sun had even thought about rising on February 22nd. Ground troops established a cordon around the property. Air support circled overhead, and when the order was given, the assault team moved in and immediately walked straight into a hailstorm of gunfire.